So yes, I have lost 45.5 pounds, and I'm going to share with you my secrets today on what I eat in a typical day. So I'm going to start off this morning with a 2 grams of fat, just a vanilla yogurt. This is a yogurt that I got at Aldi. It's actually very low calorie, low fat, everything. It's only 80 calories. So I typically add about a teaspoon of monk fruit sweetener. Even though it's already sweetened, I just kind of like it a little sweeter. Then I add about a teaspoon of this cinnamon oat granola. It's made by Kind. It's just the kind I like to get. I mean, this thing can last me like 6 months. I don't use hardly any. So this is how I make it. I just like that little crunch that comes with a little granola. Now they have some granola you can make on Trim Healthy Mama, but I think because I use so little, it really doesn't matter to me. And I'm also gonna throw just a few blueberries in here. I usually add blueberries or strawberries to my mix. And there you go, breakfast. So the next thing I'm going to be making is my supper, and I have company coming all day long, so I'm going to be pre-making my meal, so all I have to do is stick it in the oven at the end of the day and dinner's going to be prepared for me. So let me show you what I'm thinking of doing. So I'm making the Mama's Famous Meatloaf. Now I get this recipe out of the Trim Healthy Mama Cookbook. This is considered an S meal on Trim Healthy Mama, and it's very simple. Now, this particular cookbook has this all set up for 3 pounds of ground beef. I mean, it's just me and my husband, so I'm gonna make it with 1 pound of ground beef, and so I'm gonna be cutting this recipe in thirds, but I'm gonna put the full recipe in the description below. So I'm gonna start off with my ground beef. I actually thawed this out in my refrigerator last night. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start off by adding some onions. Now, I'm gonna just be eyeballing the onions because I put in however much I like, and I love onions. It just gives it so much flavor. I'm gonna be adding an egg to this. I'm going to add some black pepper. I'm going to be adding some mineral salt. I use pink Himalayan salt, but you use whatever you like. I'm also going to be adding some prepared mustard. And I'm going to be adding some ketchup. And then I'm also going to be adding some, this is a keto baking blend. They recommend that you put in your Trim Healthy Mama baking blend. I don't have any of that. I get this on Amazon, and I think it's really good. It's this Ketonia, and I don't use a lot of this kind of stuff, but I do put it in when I need it. So I'm going to put in a tablespoon of that. And then I'm also going to be putting in some onion powder. Now this is onion powder that I made from onions from my garden last year. So it doesn't have any of the artificial caking stuff in it. So it's always a little harder to get out, but it's really good stuff. So I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of that. And I've also got some dehydrated onions. These again are out of my garden. They'll break down a little bit, but they just add a little different kind of texture. So I should call this onion loaf instead of meatloaf. So let me give this a stir. And I usually have to stir it with my hands, but I want to go get a baking dish before I do this. And then I'm going to show you how I top this and get it ready for baking. Okay, we're going to leave it just like this for now. And let me show you my little secret to having stuff ready to bake later in the day. So this is my secret. I take a piece of foil and I just kind of crumple it up, just like this. because I want to elevate this. I want to elevate this so that it's not going to have a problem with baking and sitting in any grease. So I put a piece of foil in. You put as much in as you like. All I'm going to do when I'm done is take it out. I'm going to put a little piece of parchment paper over this foil. And the reason I'm doing that is just so that this doesn't get stuck in these crevices. Like that. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is just use my hands. That's why we got the gloves out. And get this all blended together. Now, if you're not a big mustard fan, of course you don't have to put it in. I love mustard. I put it on everything. And if you prefer a little bit more ketchup or what have you, but this is the recipe for the meatloaf. And I find that it just comes out really good. It's very flavorful. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Just like this, best you can. You know, you might be used to putting this in a pan where it sits in the grease. We don't want that today. We want it to sit right on top, just like this. Now, all that grease is going to come right off, and we are not going to have to worry about having any additional grease in our meatloaf. Now, I'm going to take a little bit more ketchup and put it right over the top. I don't need much, just a little. And then all I'm going to do is cover it. If you're interested in adding a couple potatoes around it, you could do that if you wanted to bake a potato. I mean, fix it any way you want. I'm going to show you the other things that I have ready to make for my sides tonight. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grill some mushrooms. I'm going to do mushrooms and onions in a pan right over the stove. And the other side I'm going to have are some delicious green beans. These are some green beans that I canned last summer. These are the best beans. They're a stringless pole bean that I grew, and oh my gosh, are they ever delicious. So I'm planting the same ones this year because they were out of this world. So I got a bunch of wild Indians here, so it's time to put my meatloaf in the oven. So I'm just gonna set this to 350. Move this up to an hour or 45 minutes. I think I'll do 50 minutes. And then I'll check it. I'll put the lid on it a little bit later. There you go. So the last thing left to do is just heat up my green beans and get my mushrooms cooked. My meatloaf is all ready. And so as soon as this is done, I'll have dinner ready. And I have everything already chopped up and put into a jar. So all I have to do is just put these in the pan and cook them up. So my sauteed onions and mushrooms are done. My meatloaf is done, green beans. So dinner is ready. It's time to be served. I've already sampled the meatloaf and it is delicious. Thanks for watching my video today. I hope it gave you some ideas on ways that you can prep ahead and make meals that'll help you shed the pounds. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.